Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mind of Cy Marie. Today is an episode that speaks straight to the heart of creativity, resilience, and community. I'm honored to be joined by Kevin Field, who is one of the co founders alongside Henry Luja. Unfortunately, we don't have Henry at the moment, but these are the co founders of Wefayo, a mission driven platform that connects over 180 communities through storytelling, creativity, and healing. Wefayo was born out of Kevin's journey supporting his family through medical challenges, and it has grown into a vibrant space for entrepreneurs with disabilities, artists, and anyone seeking connection. So, Kevin, let me just give you a warm welcome to the show. It's a joy to have you here today.
Wow, Say Marie, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. It truly is a pleasure to be here.
So, Kevin, can you share the origin story of Wefayo and how your personal journey inspired its creation?
Sure, Wefayo was born from two deeply personal experiences that showed me how desperately we need stronger support. So first, my wife has Crohn's disease, and years ago she found incredible support through an online community, friendships, information, and comfort during flare-ups. Then one day that community just vanished, gone, and she was very disappointed. At the same time, we watched our eldest son with special needs work tirelessly for things that many people take for granted, like finding his place in the world and discovering opportunities to shine. I realized our story isn't unique. There are millions of people and families facing medical conditions, health issues, and special needs challenges. And so that realization became my calling. 3 years ago, I began building Wefayo to help as many people as possible navigate these difficult journeys together.
Wow, that's really beautiful. And actually, a side note on that, I am a disabled creative and I have two sons that have Duchenne muscular dystrophy and they are fully
Oh,
wheelchair bound. So you are so right. And that is a beautiful mission to have because it is so difficult not only being a person in that situation, but being a parent watching your child struggle with that.
yes, yes.
So, Kevin, you've spoken about raising a child with special needs and supporting your wife through Crohn's disease. How did those experiences shape the platform's mission?
Well, they showed me that support isn't just about resources, it's about belonging. Watching my wife lose a vital community overnight and seeing my son push through daily barriers, it made me realize how isolating these journeys can feel. And that's why Refi was designed to be a space where people can connect, celebrate victories, and know that they're never alone. But Refi was built on the belief that no one should face medical or special needs challenges alone. And that help should always come without cost, hidden agendas, or the selling of personal data.
I totally agree. So, a question about Henry. What was his path into the project and what drew you to join forces together?
Sure. So I knew Henry for several years. One of the things I do is I'm a mentor at one of the Ivy League universities in their executive master's program. And I had mentored Henry through the program and I floated the idea to him. And as it turns out, his best friend had lost the use of his legs. And Henry had watched the impact that it had on him. And this all just made sense to him. And he wanted to help people as well.
That's beautiful. So, Wifio now connects over 180 vibrant communities and forums. What does that scope look like in practice, and what are some of the most powerful stories that you've encountered?
So we've got communities for nearly every condition you can imagine, ranging from rare with just a few hundred people worldwide to larger groups like autism and Crohn's. What moves me the most are the connections and success stories that come out of them. So for example, we highlight people like Sophia Giroux, who is Victoria's Secret's first model with Down's syndrome, NBA star Larry Nance Jr., who thrives despite Crohn's disease, and entrepreneurs who've built businesses while living with disabilities. We feature around 25 incredibly inspiring individuals with significant physical and developmental challenges who've triumphed over them, and about 35 differently abled business owners whose stories show that dreams are possible and success is real. That's the scope of what WeFi really looks like, spaces where people can find each other, celebrate victories, and know that they truly belong, whether that means connecting with others, discovering resources, or simply having a supportive home.
Wow, I really appreciate that. That has been valuable. So, you've integrated AI into the platform as a tool for support. How do you see technology enhancing connection, resilience, and creativity there?
I see technology as a bridge to deepen human connections. Our four AI assistants aren't meant to replace people. They are meant to close gaps. That's when it's 2 a.m. and somebody needs support, or when they're too anxious to reach out, or when they want a safe place to vent or just get another perspective. We're also developing a new technology to help people who struggle to express themselves, and it'll also be free. But what excites me most is watching technology become truly assistive, not replacing the human experience, but making it more accessible and creating those deeper connections that we all need.
So many entrepreneurs with disabilities face unique barriers. How does Wefayo uplift and amplify their work?
So the way Wefayo uplifts and amplifies their work is we have a differently abled entrepreneur spotlight program. We showcase entrepreneurs like Drew Davis, who runs a thriving online hot sauce business despite cerebral palsy, Ali Bach, who delights customers with his cookies while living with autism. In total, we help raise awareness for 35 differently abled entrepreneurs, encouraging our community to visit their sites and support them directly.
That's perfect. I love that. So, what role does storytelling play in the way you both lead and connect with the community?
Love that question because stories create connection in ways that nothing else can. When I share about sleepless nights researching my son's needs, or loss when my wife's community disappeared, I'm not just telling my story. I'm creating a space for others to share theirs and to be heard. Everybody in the community has a story that matters. The newly diagnosed, the young adult finding independence, the overwhelmed parent or caregiver. Their stories build hope for others. And that's where real connection and healing begins.
Absolutely. Building and sustaining community takes immense resilience. So, how do you both stay inspired and grounded through those challenges?
It does take immense resilience. You've hit the nail on the head. But what keeps me inspired is remembering why we started. So I think about every person awake at 3 a.m., Googling a diagnosis, feeling terrified and alone. Listen, we've been there and we know that feeling. Knowing we can change that experience for people, whether it's the person with the condition, their spouse, their parents, or friends, that's what drives me forward.
How do you hope to see Wefayo shift the way society views creativity, disability, and resilience?
I want to flip the narrative entirely. Instead of seeing differences as deficits, I hope society can recognize them as sources of innovation, creativity, and strength, like the autistic individual who sees patterns others miss, the person with dyslexia who spots anomalies others overlook, or the employee with disabilities showing exceptional empathy that boosts customer satisfaction. They're exceptional because of their unique perspectives and abilities.
And what have been some of the most affirming or surprising moments that you've experienced since launching the platform?
So, what surprised me is how many people across the country say they wish WeFile had existed years ago. They introduce me to others who say the same thing, and the community grows through these personal connections. The most affirming part is knowing we're building something that's significantly improving the journey for many others.
And so, for listeners who may be struggling with isolation, chronic illness, or even caregiving for someone who does, what message of hope would you like to convey to them?
The message is you don't have to face this alone. I know it can feel overwhelming and isolating, but there are people who truly understand what you're going through because they're living it too. One way you can help yourself is by sharing your story on Wefayo. You'll discover that through sharing, you'll meet new friends who genuinely get it and can offer support when you need it the most. That's the kind of community we're building, where no one has to navigate these difficult journeys alone.
I totally agree. And this is kind of another side note here, but there was a program that was on Netflix it was a few months ago, maybe last year. And it was about this young man, they called him Evelyn. And he was a young man that had Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and he was very isolated, but he got really into the World of Warcraft communities. And now WoW actually has a annual celebration because they did an online digital funeral for him when he passed away, and they made a documentary out of it. And it really showcases exactly what you're talking about, how important digital communities actually can be in supporting disabled people and those of us who might not be able to socialize in the same way that others. And I think that that's a really important note to add right now, especially since there are a lot of negativities about online communities occurring at the same time as we're talking about this. So it's always beautiful to see where people are actually hearing that, hey, this is something that needs to be made, and they're actually coming forward and letting you know that, this was you found they always say go look for the thing that everybody needs and isn't there yet, and it seems like you found that, and I am so grateful to hear that.
Well, a
So,
couple of things, thank you for mentioning that. A couple of things to build on top of that, which is if anybody wants something added to Wefayo, we just do it. So we've got a gaming section. Like in the autism community, somebody asked for a gaming section. We added it. Someone asked for a technology section where they can discuss technology. The way we built the platform, we can add things within minutes. And so if there's anybody listening that wants something added and you're going to commit to using it, I will build it and I will put it out there for you. The other thing, before you're talking about, some of the concerns with online communities, I've stated this very clearly in the privacy policy. We do not sell any information. And it says in there, you could join under an alias. I don't care if somebody joins under the name Mickey Mouse. Since we don't sell any information, I don't, your name doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a platform where you can meet people, build friendships, have support, get information. And so I'm also not when people sign up, I'm not asking for any personal identifiable information. I don't ask for street address, gender. I don't ask for any medical conditions, nothing like that, because it's not needed and I'm not selling data. So come. This is not one of the platforms that you would ever hear anything negative about, or at least that's certainly how I've built it.
well, that's great to hear, and that's always something everybody, of course, is going to ask, because online we have to worry about our digital footprint and our
Yes,
safety at all times.
yes.
So, what projects, programs, or expansions are you most excited about right now at Wefayo?
Sure. So we're always adding new features. We recently launched the 4 AI assistants, and the response has been incredible. People use them to practice job interviews, manage anxiety, organize their daily tasks, and it's a great place to vent and share what's on your mind. I'm also excited about a new innovative technology we're building to help people who have difficulty expressing themselves. Our community partners run amazing programs from visual arts, ceramics, theater, and music production to social events like karaoke, bingo, and group exercise. There's also training, cooking, book clubs, and unique activities like dog treat baking and farm programs. We're also expanding the differently abled entrepreneur spotlight to help these business owners connect with more customers. Plus, we're building state specific resource databases to make navigating services easier. But what excites me most is how closely we collaborate with our members. Like as I mentioned before, when someone suggests a new community that helps people connect, we just make it happen. We just do it. And like everything on WeFile, it's completely free.
Awesome. So, finally, what do you envision for the future of Wefayo and the communities that it's serving?
Well, I envision a world where nobody has to face life's challenges alone, where everybody, no matter their medical condition or special needs, has access to community, resources, and opportunities to shine. I see WeFile becoming the first place people turn to for understanding, a platform where breakthrough innovations happen through collaboration, and a community where every person's story is heard and celebrated. Ultimately, I want WeFile to help build a more compassionate world, one where differences are valued, support is freely given, and everyone has the chance to truly thrive. That's the future we're building, one connection at a time.
That is incredible, and I am totally on board and behind that. I will be checking it out more myself. And Kevin, I just want to tell you that thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing the heart and mission of your platform here. It's definitely hit my heart, and especially with me bringing up the remarkable life of Ibelin, this is something that, being a mother of children with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, it's been one of my biggest burdens, and it is so beautiful to see that people like yourself are taking experiences that are similar and using them to show people, hey, yeah, I recognize that it's valid and this is hard, but you're not alone. And working together and building those communities is how we support all of these people that need that within that network. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure, and thank you so much again for inviting me to talk with you and tell everybody about WeFire. Greatly appreciate it.
Indeed. And of course, this work reminds us that creativity and resilience are not just personal tools, but community lifelines. So, to everyone listening, I encourage you to explore Wefayo.com, where you'll find inspiring stories, resources, and communities that remind us we're never alone. Until next time, keep creating, keep connecting, and keep finding healing through art and story.